Alright. Well. Do you remember how this goes? I hope you do. I've been on vocal rest. I haven't physically spoken except for like a few times since quarantine started. If someone wants to talk to me, I guess that's the point.
Hey everybody, it's me.
Hey there, pals! Welcome to another video, or if you're new here, hi! Welcome to HeyMickey. I'm Mickey. Or if for some reason you're watching this in Korea, 안녕하세요! Surprisingly learned a little bit of Korean while I was in quarantine. So, welcome to Where in the World Has Mickey Been and What Has He Been Up To? I feel like this is going to be probably the first and only time people are going to care about where I've been. Other than that, they're not going to give a damn. What's been going on with me? What I've been up to? You know, I've just been basically working in silence, as I always do, which is usually dangerous for the rest of you. But for me, it's like, oh great, I have a secret weapon that no one knows about. So I've just been doing things, working on projects that haven't been seen yet. I've been dealing with some depression as well. Just taking things slow, you know? I feel like this is probably the most rest I would get in a year. All because of a pandemic. This is the only time I can get rest. Let me give you a rundown about what's been going on, what I've been up to, things that have been going on with me. So first things first, we're in a pandemic. People are being stupid about the seriousness of this. Am I surprised? No, not really. Especially based on the people I've seen not taking this stuff serious. I'm not surprised. I'm really not. Are you surprised? Let me ask the audience, are you surprised? Crickets, no one's surprised. So I feel like I feel like we're on two different pages here, and it's really stressful. It's like, can we just once be on the same page? Just once. Can we lie and pretend like we care and be on the same page with each other? And after that, you can go be problematic later on. I don't give a damn. But just for once, let's all agree on something. I try to be as hopeful as I possibly can and just think, well, maybe things will get better if, I don't know. Never in my years of life have I would have thought I would have seen a pandemic. I only read about them. So to be in one is very, very alarming. It lets you know that not everyone is occupied in the head, if that makes sense. Which I am concerned about our school system and our education system if that's the case. You know, I'm being optimistic, maybe something will happen, maybe something will get better, maybe things will decrease, maybe a certain someone would just mysteriously die in their sleep and we can just scoot them out of this big building that's in the middle of DC. But until then, we just have to get through this, you know? And then on top of that, Black Lives Matter once again. We have been cycling through this several times and nothing has changed. So it's kind of like, it's not really upsetting, it's kind of annoying at this point. Not Black Lives Matter, but like the people ignoring the issue of like just taking Black lives seriously. That's what's annoying. We have constantly gone through this cycle of like, great, every time something like this happens, we once again get ignored. And then we go back to square one and we have to do this again to get attention. Well, not really attention, to get our voices heard so people can start taking us as people seriously. So it's kind of like, it's just annoying that this, like that kind of stuff has to continue to happen in order just for people like me to get heard and to get seen, to get attention. It's just, it's exhausting, but at the same time, it needs to happen. Because it's like, well, if you are not going to listen to us the first time we protest, or the third time we protest, or, oh, I skipped a number. But it's like, if you're not going to listen to us the first time we protest, the second time we protest, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, in the span of like, from 2010? I think there's been like, let's see, there was the Trayvon Martin protest, there was the Freddie Gray protest, Eric Garner protest, the Michael Brown protest, Sandra Bland protest. I think there's more that I'm probably not remembering. But there's been so many protests in the span of like, just a lot of the 2000s. And it's like, nothing has changed. And it's like, that's what's annoying. Nothing has changed and we constantly have to basically fight for our lives. Every black person has to fight for their lives and it's just tiring and it's annoying and it's exhausting. But at the same time, I just feel like people just choose to be racist for no reason at all. So it's even though it's annoying, it's like, well, hey, until you are ready to listen to us, we're going to keep on fighting and using our voices and using our platforms. If history has continued to repeat itself in order for us to get heard, I guess it has to repeat itself in order for us to get heard. Because at that same time, you also kind of notice like who saw this situation as something serious and who saw this as like a trend, or who saw this as like a hashtag and not really a lifelong issue. So you kind of notice that, you know, especially with like brands, companies, your friends, my friends. But outside of like dealing with like ridiculous Republicans, crazy white women, and unfair treatment of minorities, some things have been positive for me, surprisingly, during all this. I got my first brand deal, which was pretty cool. So I did a brand with Inkbox. Well, not a brand. I did a brand deal with a company called Inkbox. They're like a temporary tattoo thing. It was actually kind of random how they contacted me because, well, actually no. Let me stop. Rewind. So before Inkbox, the first thing that actually happened was that I reached 30,000 followers on TikTok, which honestly, I question myself every day. What the hell have I done? So I've had some videos go viral. Honestly, I don't know what to do with this information. So I had this joke last year. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a documentary about becoming TikTok famous, because apparently it's easy. Anyone can do it. So I'm gonna make like a little web series about like how I became TikTok famous and blah, blah, blah. So it started off as that joke. So I kind of scrapped that idea, and I unscrapped it not too long ago. Cause I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a video about this. But I really did not expect TikTok to have that kind of like welcoming reaction to me. It's like I literally watched my followers grow overnight. Not in even in the span of a week, they grew every hour on the hour. Something like I got more and more and more and more and more. And it was like, this is so weird. Cause I've never experienced but I've never experienced that a day in my life. I have been on YouTube since 2015. I'm still at like 500 something subscribers. I don't get that kind of, you know, support and reaction on my YouTube channel. You know, my views are poor on my YouTube channel. I barely get any comments on my YouTube videos. Like, I don't get that kind of reaction on here. You know, my Instagram is the same thing. I just now got like, what, 500 something followers on Instagram? Because my old Instagram was like at 800, but then it got hacked and I had to start over. So my new Instagram is at 500. I don't get that many shares and likes and things. So I never see myself as like something that can go viral, I guess, because I'm so used to having like poor response to my work. So when I came to TikTok, I was surprised that I was able to achieve 30.5 thousand followers. And currently I'm at, as of now, as I record this, I am at 876.8 thousand likes. I've never had that before. So this is an experience for me. Of course, there was moments where I thought about deleting TikTok, but then also there's talk around town that America's gonna ban TikTok forever. I was like, hey, if TikTok doesn't fix their issues with like black creators, at least America will delete the app before I do it. So I was like, well, you know, that's fine. So TikTok kind of has been my first ever achievement site, I guess. It's the first ever app or site, I guess, that I've achieved more than 1,000. Well, I've achieved 1,000. This is the first time I've ever reached like 1,000 on anything. It feels pretty nice. You know, I don't get to, you know, like I said, I usually don't get that kind of response to my work. So I'm not really used to the whole, like, I guess, attention of going like viral and having so many followers. But it's just, it's so cool to finally see that like under my name. Like my name, there's like a big number under it. Like, it's so cool. So since I have a lot of followers on my TikTok, the brand Inkbox reached out to me to send me a few products, make a post about it, and that was it. You know, like the little tattoos you get like out of a, what is it called? Like the little machine, and it comes in that little plastic ball, you take it out, and it's like, I don't know, Batman or some shit, and you like put it on with some water and you do that. It's like that, but it's not like that. It's much better than that. It's like grown-up tattoos. So instead of it like peeling off, like you might rip it, it kind of like sets into your skin and it kind of adheres to your skin. And then after like a week or two, it fades off naturally. It's not toxic, it's not like dangerous for your skin. It's pretty safe. And I had one like right here in my arm. I think it was right, was it this arm? I can't remember. It was one of these arms. But and you can't see any trace of the tattoo. I can't remember what Arnold was, but you don't see like any trace of the tattoo. It kind of just faded away. But sadly, something that annoyed me recently with Inkbox, because I'll be honest, because just in case, because I do recommend Inkbox to a lot of people, but from a creative, like myself being the brand, you know, like the HeyMickey brand, the HeyMickey franchise, this is a problem where Inkbox kind of like rubbed me the wrong way. Apparently, my TikTok video, they told me they were going to repost the video on their TikTok page. I was fine with that. But, what was it, like last month I found this out? So by the way, Inkbox reached out to me back in April, and I found out about this issue last month. They didn't tell me about it. I had no knowledge about it. They didn't mention it the first time around. So apparently they've been running my TikTok video as an ad, and the only way I found that out was because someone sent me a screenshot like, oh hey, do you know your ad? I'm like, what? I was ecstatic about that, but I was like, well, wait a minute. They never mentioned that to me. They never asked me, hey, can we use your likeness? Can we use the HeyMickey likeness to run as an ad to promote our stuff? They never ran that by me at all. It was like, well, that's kind of upsetting, especially with all this stuff going on where basically we're trying to tell brands like, hey, be more inclusive, pay your black creators to promote your work, pay black people the same amount of money you pay white people to promote your products. Like, pay us properly. And so like the fact that you're doing this, you're running an advertisement, I'm not getting any compensation for it. I didn't have any knowledge of it. I didn't know. So I got in contact with them. I was like, hey, can I receive pay for that? And they was like, well, we'll talk to our social media team. They must have took it out you knowing. But until then, we'll stop running the ad and that's it. But we'll contact you next week so we can figure out the issue. Maybe send you some more free tattoos, blah, blah, blah. So basically, long story short, they were like, look, we don't want to pay you. So we're just gonna stop running the ad. If you want, we'll see you some more free tattoos, that's it. That's basically what they said. So, of course, I didn't get the free tattoos because I said, well, no, I don't want tattoos. I just want money. You ran that ad probably for months and I didn't know. Pay me for that. I got back in touch with them that week after and I was like, well, hey, can we figure out what's going on? Like, can I get my compensation for running my image as an ad? And they basically ignored me. So basically what they did was they took the ad down and they was like, you know what, we're just gonna ignore you, we're not gonna pay you, that's it. So that's the only thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Business-wise with Inkbox, but like product-wise, they're great. Business-wise, terrible. But after that, a friend of mine, Sydney, she was working with Reebok, the shoe company. She was like, hey, would you like a brand deal with us? I'm like, yeah, 100%. So they sent me some things. You probably have seen those photos on my Instagram. This photo here. Well, photos. You know, it was the same thing. Make a TikTok. We reposted on our Reebok's account. That's it. And I was fine with that. But the experience with Reebok was much more pleasant than the experience with Inkbox. Reeboks, I will work with you again. If you want to send me more things, if you want to, at some point be like, hey, we actually want to pay you to be an advertisement. Hell yeah, I'll do it. But it was fun to have two big brands, reach out to little old me. And it was so fun, it was so cool, and I am so grateful for that. And even though Inkbox kind of rubbed me the wrong way, I still am thankful for the opportunity. Thankful for the chance to be able to even be considered, somebody who, I guess, is an influencer, Whoa. Okay, sorry if I'm kind of like blasted out. The sun is kind of setting and it's kind of like shining light in here, so sorry if it's like really white right now. And finally, what's been going on with me, I've been working on a project for the whole entire year. So I've been working on this really, at least for me, this really big Halloween project. I started working on this in March. When my job told me, we're closed, hang it up, flat screen, you're done, stay home. Once they told me that, I was like, you know what, I guess this is my free time to figure out what I'm gonna do for Halloween. And I figured it out, and once I kind of finalized my ideas, I was like, wow, this is a really big scale of work that I've never done before. Can I do this in a month? But then I was like, you know what? Well, why wait for a month when I can just literally do it the whole entire year during however long quarantine is? And I have been working on Halloween related stuff since March 14th. I finalized my Halloween stuff April 1st. And ever since April 1st, I have been creating, working, planning, gluing, hot gluing, cutting, almost stitching things by hand, painting. I'm very excited for October this year, but at the same time, I'm also very scared because I feel like this can fail. And that's what scares me about this. I'm really putting in so many hours of work, blood, sweat, tears, and I mean it. I have had a couple of cuts, I've had some burns, you know, I've sweated, I've cried from frustration. I have went through it all to work on this stuff for Halloween. And I'm scared that it's going to fail. It's not going to do well. Am I really doing this for other people? No, it's really just doing this for me as a creative. I want to see if I can do this. It's really, I'm just testing myself, truth be told. But at the same time, even though I'm doing this publicly, it scares me that I am going to get zero reaction. In my mind, I think, okay, well, I'm going to get a huge reaction. People are going to support me. I'm going to get more followers from this. I might get a brand deal from like the companies of the things I'm using, because they see how amazing my work is. Maybe even make a PR list for a couple of these companies. Like, I'm thinking like big, like, wow, this is probably gonna be my best effort and maybe skyrocket me as a creator. I'm funding this myself. I actually saved up for Halloween this year and last year. So I'm not really like going broke, or it's nothing like that. So I've been saving up for Halloween since last year. So I'm good. Cause I feel like, well, damn, I put so much money into this and it failed. I could have put that money towards something else, you know? So it's that afterthought of like, once Halloween is over, once October's over, will it be worth it? I am just nervous, but I'm also excited. And I really hope that it gets the response that I kind of hope it does. But at the same time, I don't know. The response to my work is really two-sided. Some days I'll have people, like basically flooding my comments, like, wow, this is amazing, this is great. Sharing it, like without me asking it, like sharing it on their social media, like, hey, check out my friend Mickey's work. Send it to their friends and things, like they do all that. And then some days it's like, nothing. So it's really two-sided how people respond to my work. And I'm scared that it's going to be the side where no one even pays me any mind. But I still want to do it. I joke about this, but I wholeheartedly mean this. I'm like Beyonce. I work on something for a year or maybe even more. And when it's time for like release time, I put it out, I go silent, and I just let whatever happens. We really, without trying, we're in sync. We're like this. I've been trying to beat the odds of feeling like I'm not a real creator when it comes to creativeness, if that makes sense. And then finally, something else that I've been doing is I've been kind of like trying to get back into like songwriting and doing music. And I say that very hesitantly because I'm scared with that. Once again, I'm scared how people are gonna react. I told myself I was gonna take a year, practice songwriting, practice maybe an instrument. I'm not sure about that part. But practice songwriting again, because I was practicing before, like years ago, but I stopped. Since I have all the time in the world, probably pick back up on like vocal lessons, because I was doing vocal lessons like a while ago, like a long while ago, but I kind of stopped because I didn't have time to do it anymore. Like, my singing isn't bad, but I feel like it could be stronger and better. So I told myself I'm gonna take a year and potentially, and also learn how to like produce and compose a song, and maybe put a song out within like the following year. Like, I honestly think I want to do that because I've always wanted to put a song out. I've always been in theater. I've done musical theater. But I've always wanted to be like a performer, entertainer, have a song out, potentially win an award for my song, and maybe go on tour for like my album or something. I've always fantasized about that. Whether I'm going on tour for an album, whether I'm going on tour with a show, a Broadway show, off-Broadway show, whatever. I've always dreamed about doing that kind of stuff. So I kind of want to see if I can bring it to life. But I'm also nervous because I'm always nervous how people react to my singing. But then when I sing, it's like, oh, whoa, you sound fine. Why are you so nervous? I'm like, because I don't know how people are going to respond to me. Depending on how I feel and how much progress I've made, I'll probably put a song out in December 2021. If not, probably 2022. But yeah, that's what's been going on with me, what's been going on in my mind. There's no purpose to this video. I just feel like I haven't been around for a while. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want to, thumbs up, comment down below. Tell me how your year's been going, what you've been up to. Would love to hear it. Generally, I 100% mean that. I would love to hear it. You know, if you want to subscribe, every time you subscribe, I become a little bit more magical. Hit that notification if you want to be notified when I upload in the future. So as always, thank you for watching and I'll see you all next time. Bye!